I just don't. I don't read.
And we're live. Welcome back to the Loopcast. We're coming through on a major campaign promise of the Loopcast.
Yeah.
We would do a late night Loopcast while enjoying some drinks. And what a day we just
had. Here we
had.
are. We had a great day.
Where were we today? Cheers.
I have a. What are you drinking, guys?
Got Yingling, very American beer.
Yep.
I was trying to get that we were at the Eucharistic Congress today.
Okay, let's go there first. Yeah, before drinks.
I mean, there's something going on in Milwaukee, but of course, we wanted to focus first on Jesus.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep, that's us.
As any good Catholic would.
Yeah.
Impressions of the day. What did you guys think? Was the energy where you thought it would be? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was major, like March for Life, kind of World Youth Day vibes, but with more old people than World Youth Day. And it was beautiful though. There were so many people.
That was subtle.
There were like
You're
rivers.
Gonna be great for their marketing strategy.
Yeah.
World Old Day.
The USCCB, I'm available. No, just kidding, I'm not. But it was a beautiful day.
Nice.
It was a beautiful day. There was a lot of energy. There were high school groups. There were so many religious.
Oh my gosh, that was stuck out to me about everything
habit
else.
hunting everywhere. So many beautiful, happy, young religious. The energy was great. People were really excited. A lot of revival sessions.
That mass in the morning, that was what stuck out the most, was how I thought the mass took probably an extra 20 minutes because how many priests had to process in.
I love that.
Hundreds of
my favorite
priests,
thing about the
hundreds of
Yeah.
seminarians,
March for Life one, too.
bishops, archbishops, like the whole gang was there. So it was cool to see that because how often I don't see that.
And it was in
Usually
the
get
cold
one.
stadium too.
Yeah,
it was like in the
cold
big stadium.
Which was
Really
cool
cool.
feel. That was different. I was trying to think about. It was also a weird feeling to me because I was like, there's mass, but I was looking up and there was like Colts banners. It was like, we won the Super Bowl in 2008. I'm like, this is like a weird feel. I couldn't
And we
reconcile
have
it
the
in my
bread of
mind,
life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we took it over somehow.
That's really cool.
But yeah, shout out to more than a few people came up and were like, oh my gosh, Catholic vote. Oh my gosh,
It
the
was so
Loopcast.
funny.
We're
So
wearing the
cool.
shirts. I don't know why you guys aren't wearing it anymore.
Well,
I know, you
There's
got
a
the
reason.
shirt.
I was doing a little incognito man in the street action, so we'll see. I'm going to tease that.
Yep.
It was
All
interesting.
right.
It was fun.
No spoilers, but it was very fun. I got to talk to tons of people about what they think in terms of politics.
Yeah.
Very
No, it was
interesting.
fun though. It was nice to meet a lot of people, and they had good things to say about the Loop, and and of course, it was nice to be there and have that spiritual moment. But tonight, I ain't gonna lie to you, we're thinking a lot about.
We're back in the
we had
gutter.
Jesus in the morning. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna focus on politics. I mean,
How deep are you in Predict It right now?
it's not good news right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Pogo's
Okay.
loving this. I mean,
Don't
the
show your
Oracle. The Oracle was good. I took care of you. Anyone who took my advice on JD Vance.
What are you,
probably
Santa?
probably made some good money. But right now, Biden is not doing too hot. It's up to 22 cents from
Oh, my
15 cents about an hour ago. But all these rumors going on right now about Joe Biden possibly dropping out of the race.
As early
There's-
as this weekend.
There
right?
was
This
the
could be-
report by Mark Halperin that he was going to drop out, and that historian John Meacham was helping him write the speech that he's going to do this LBJ style speech where he's like, I'm not going to run, I'm done.
Takes a big man. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then Bob Costa, CBS, texts Meacham's like, hey, what's up with this? And Meacham's like, the report about my doing anything with the speech is totally false.
Yeah, but I feel like there's all these kind of like knives out conflicting reports because there's
It's
definitely
almost
people,
like they're lying.
Right, but there's definitely people in Biden world that are like, no, this is all false. He's not dropping out. But it seems like the dam is breaking
Which
a little
they
bit.
have to say
Maybe.
until the bitter end.
True. I mean,
Obviously the COVID thing, the president has COVID and he tweets out,
you see his tweet?
I'm sick.
I know the
It
tweet was,
so
I'm
funny.
sick.
So many people
we
did
know.
such
We
funny
know you're
quote
sick,
tweets.
Joe. We
Yeah,
know.
I did. I saw one quote tweet on it was just like sports moments that made people sick. And for me, I posted prime Derrick Rose tearing his ACL and basically ruining his career, like what could have been. I just threw that up there because it makes me sick.
But you got swing state Democrat. It's considered a swing race in Montana. John Tester calling on Biden not to run for another term. So there's just so much talk on this. But again, why where is all this coming from? It feels like the whole thing with Stephen Breyer. Like he just felt like he got pressured to quit from the Supreme Court, and it's like maybe if we just start all these rumors, and then Biden will go, well, I guess I better, But it's like
He would have at this point though.
Is Queen Jill Biden going to let Joe quit? I just don't see
No.
it. I think they're going to drag their heels in.
But then the other thing was not only is he going to step down, The other part of the report was that he's not going to endorse Kamala.
Kamala, yeah.
And just have
they're
open
an open
convention.
convention, which could be interesting.
Interesting to say the least. Chaos. Why would you want this much chaos? This is ridiculous.
For the entertainment value.
Oh, I mean, of course.
We would enjoy
bring
it.
the popcorn.
But yeah,
I would love
it's
it.
our
I mean,
job.
it's like great. Why would you? This is so stupid. Like, I mean, people have been watching too much West Wing. Oh, this is what's going to happen.
Oh, no,
you know,
it's not like that in real life.
It's like,
No,
really?
people.
You think this is the House of Cards? I mean, we're
Kind of.
Yeah, sure.
No, they're
you
not
know.
that smart, Tom. It's not House of Cards. It's Veep. It is Veep all day long.
It's it is a
man.
lot like Veep. It's like it's like wow, you're too young for new coconuts, whatever.
Well, some of the theory would be, right, and this is, I was talking to a couple of our colleagues earlier, if they were really smart, like the Democrats, which I'm questioning at this point. They've been dragging their heels on this question for, 3 weeks now, 4 weeks. But part of the theory would be Biden being the sacrificial lamb, right? They see they're going to lose. They've accepted that they're going to lose this election, that Trump's just, I mean, the energy at this RNC is unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah,
we,
it
have,
is
we, have, we have the
crazy.
clip from.
Did you see Hulk? I mean, he's just
Wow, the Hulk. That was
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan?
Hogan ripping the
not,
shirt,
not
and then he's
the
got
Hulk.
the Trump.
Sorry, Xavier,
Yeah.
my son. He's going to be disappointed.
Well,
It
and
wasn't
somebody
actually
knew
the
That
Hulk.
was cool. We had Hulk Hogan giving the speech. But that was the point that on CNN, I think we have the clip. I just posted that with Van Jones, and he was saying, like, look at my guy next to me, Scott Jennings. He's this conservative guy. He's like, he's just got so much energy. He's so excited, and everyone on the floor, and it wasn't just Hulk. It was all the other speeches. He said the energy going on at the Republican National Convention. Van Jones is he's a communist. He's like, this energy reminds me of the 2008 convention for the Democrats when Obama went on and rolled and did great and had a landslide victory. So it's like
the O word.
It's pretty
And that's
crazy.
really how it felt. I mean,
but polls are helpful snapshots. They're not everything. You
Right.
do get a sense of how things are going.
The momentum,
and,
right.
And the polls coming out in the last day or two did not show massive movement, like a sympathy vote for Trump, so that he's so crushing it. He's still got a good lead, right? But it's not like after the assassination attempt, he's up by like 10 points or something like that. And there was this poll that came out that showed, him doing well, Kamala not doing so good, and Gretchen doing really good. And so now they're like, oh, Gretchen. And so all the buzz is for her and for Gavin. And it's like, you guys, a few polls here and there, it just, you can see how, the mad electricity on the left. They're like, they don't know. They don't know what to do.
Right, and
They're
the clock
boxed
is
into a
ticking.
corner.
Like, again, we are how many weeks since that debate now? We're
We're in
they're
July.
they still don't know what to do.
we're in July and we're
Right.
talking about an election in November. Like,
Yeah.
Arkansas,
Well, and the
but her point
convention-
was we're talking about the June 28 debate, and it's now July 17. We're
Yeah.
still talking
We're
about
still
it.
talking
it's
about
the
it.
ripple
No,
effect
They
from
still
that.
don't have a plan.
Not to tease too much. When I was talking to people on the street, one of the biggest points was like, I was trying to ask people, at what point did you understand there was a problem? Like Joe Biden had a problem. It's like, the
Yeah, what
debate.
was the response? What do you got?
Resoundingly, the debate. Someone gave me a really
Yeah.
deep cut, which you'd appreciate. Little Sisters of the Poor, going after the Little Sisters of the Poor. That's when he was like, that's when I knew something was wrong with Biden. But he's like, obviously mental decline at this point, debate. But I was like, whoa, you went back on that one.
Yeah,
buddy.
he was paying attention.
Yes,
he knew what
he was-
time it was.
No,
Yeah.
some of the people,
Yeah.
so funny. Most people, general observation was they were kind of bashful at first, or maybe underestimated themselves in terms of their knowledge. They'd be like, I don't know if I have anything to really say. And I'd get going and I'm like, whoa, some of these people actually really know
It's
what you're
just-
talking about.
But
Like, you guys
again, that we're like we had this movement like in the immediate aftermath of the bad debate performance where Democrats like, oh my gosh, he's like, he needs a factory reset. We need to have somebody else. We need to put someone else on the ticket. And that went for, and ebbed and flowed for a good 2 weeks. And then
Right.
it kind of settled down at the beginning of this week. And then
Well, 'cause
COVID
Trump
hits
got
again.
shot.
And then
Yeah.
boom.
And he looked terrible. I mean, some of the clips from him this week. There's this one. He was having a meeting in the White House, and he actually mistook this other blonde woman for Jill.
That was bad.
And he starts following her around. Jill like comes running
No, it
over.
looked like he was gonna kiss her.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
he does
it
like
was
to sniff
very
the hair
bad.
of other random people,
Did you
including
see what he
12-year-olds.
called
So.
Lloyd Austin his own?
black guy.
The black guy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
By the way,
No,
you can do that if
the
you're a
black
Democrat.
guy.
You can that black guy.
that
Yeah.
works. Oh my! Do you know that'd be like every news headline everywhere if Trump said something like that?
Of course.
My
Of
God.
course.
But wait,
My
Brian
black
was,
friend.
Genders.
Brian was at the RNC, right?
Yeah, Brian
Yeah.
did
Get him in
go.
here.
Well, we can. If I
I was
don't,
gonna say, can we get Brian in
We
here?
need to get Brian in here.
I'll
He
pass
needs
up
to-
my
the boy
mic.
couch. The boy couch has
Boys
another
couch.
seat.
I'll pass
Yep.
my mic. I want to hear what his experience was like at the RNC.
Yeah, we're gonna pull him in.
yeah, he went to the RNC convention and
Okay,
he ended
yeah,
up
go
getting.
grab him.
He ended up getting only like an hour of sleep after driving.
Yeah.
Like, brother, what are you doing? And normally you go to these conventions and you have the opportunity to meet a lot of different people. But like after the assassination attempt on Trump, the security surrounding
Yeah.
the presidential and vice presidential candidate was just way too much. And so normally, Trump and Vance, you'd have the opportunity, for someone like Brian to come meet him, but it just absolutely did not happen this time. And so, but
Sorry, our
I
producer.
was told to not wear shorts on future episodes of the live stream.
crazy.
All right.
Yeah,
Jesus.
when Pogo shows more leg than the female co-host, that's
Yeah,
that's
a little
problem.
scandalous,
Yeah,
apparently.
I know.
That's rough.
getting
Loop
That's
after
rough.
dark,
Laughs from the
guys.
other room.
We're
Okay,
There you
landing.
are.
Dark,
This
you
is
show a
literally
little-
loop after dark. So
show a little
whoever's in the
skinny
chat,
drink,
God
little
bless you.
England.
You're
I guess
about to
we're
have a
loopy.
crazy
Wait,
ride
that's what
Do
going
we
it
on.
have anyone in the chat so far?
There's more guys like those shorts though.
Oh my gosh! I didn't,
Pogo!
This is
It's not your
Dude,
week,
this is a family
Pogo.
program. I guess it is.
Yeah,
after
the
dark.
AC's a little bit high in here, so he was hot.
All
He
right.
had to, yeah.
No
All
shorts
right.
next time.
Okay.
Got
Hey, you
it.
live and learn. This is
Yeah.
our first time doing this.
My lived
late night.
experience. I'm learning.
Well,
and growing.
when we do get Brian in here, Brian was not there when JD Vance made his speech. Brian and I watched that together last night or whatever, and I'm ecstatic
Yeah.
that JD Vance is the nominee for the vice president. I know there's some qualms on Catholic Twitter about him, but overall, his speech, by the way, I would give it a single. Not a home run, not a triple, not a double.
It was a little bit wooden.
You said it was exactly
He-
what he said at NatCon.
it was
like it was
very.
nothing
It was
new.
well,
But
chunks of it were
NatCon was
his
different. The whole
NatCon
thing with
speech.
NatCon, you're giving
Oh,
this
Brian.
30 to 40-minute speech, and the
No,
audience
come on in,
claps
come on
when
in,
it's time
Yeah.
to clap.
Come on, the
Hey,
couch.
their fearless leader. He's come.
Here he is, Brian Birch.
Check out the California
Come on,
vibes
just
going
cover up.
on. Yeah.
This couch is
Okay.
this
I
whole
think this
room
is
is like
gonna
90
get
degrees.
All right, Brian.
We wanted to ask about the, I know you got a chance to go up to Milwaukee for the convention. Just give us a little story on what happened and what it was like there at the convention.
Oh, wow. Definitely, I heard you guys talking. One of the most exciting conventions I've ever been to. I've been to a couple. Very, very.
Just electric, you're saying?
As they would say, not jebbish.
Yeah, no doubt.
Very high energy, very high energy. And
We don't
no,
mean Jesuit, we mean Jeb Bush, low energy.
no, conventions are funny because you walk in and there's literally everyone there. Every
Right.
politician, every person of influence, every media star.
All the conservative groups.
You walk around
conservative
and
media.
you turn and there's,
You trip over
candidate
people.
here, candidate there. And I was actually fortunate because I got to go up to the suite of the vice
Nice,
president.
nice.
Now, not the vice president himself because he was
It's
in
his suite, but he wasn't
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
Right.
He's down on the ground. They wouldn't let anyone
put him
who
in a
hadn't
booth
been
with
like
Trump, right? Vetted, right?
10 days of everything I've ever done in my life. Check.
Fingerprint,
Security check.
urine sample, right?
Yes, but the vice president's team was up there, and the suite next to me was the president's suite, which was Vivek Ramaswamy was in there. It was a number of people, but very, very cool to just see, politics in action.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Nikki Haley, so it was a little underwhelming. Then Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I mean, you were just trolling me. You send me a video from from the RNC, and it's Nikki Haley. I'm like, come on, man, you're just busting my chops here.
No, but Josh is a political nerd. Next RNC convention, we're going to do the Loopcast from the RNC.
It would be fun.
I
It would
like
be fun.
it.
You can just
For
be on
years,
interview
you got
row,
it.
bring everyone
Yeah,
through.
it's fun.
Okay.
Megan Kelly was doing that. Turning
Yeah.
Point was doing that. The
Yeah.
Loopcast is going to be at the RNC
Mary Margaret
convention.
Olin
We're gonna
is
make it
doing that.
happen
I
for
want to do
folks.
that.
You
Yeah.
heard the
And
boss.
we're going to have a really uber trad set so that everyone will know it's the Catholic vote set. Yeah.
This
Have
is
like
what-
stone
we'll
arches
cook
or
with
something
gas.
behind us.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
love
Much
it.
like the
buttresses.
Eucharistic Congress, but we'll have that whole display. It'll be like a big cathedral, but
I like
we'll
it.
do like
This is
Americana
vision.
Cathedral.
This
I don't know. We'll
sounds
see. We
like-
have a good marketing team.
Yeah, this sounds like
Christian.
Christian nationalism, though.
Ooh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like, if you really want to
All
dabble
right.
in that. It's
Well, come 2028, the Christian nationalist plan will be in full
force.
full-blown,
fully
right.
Yeah,
executed.
Project
And
2028.
It will be
Project
fully.
29.
In fact, the
Yeah.
entire RNC will be bathed in Catholic cathedral.
I am very excited. Let's do
Wait.
it. Let's do it.
Sorry, question. So you also were at the Eucharistic Congress, and you were on a program as well. What were you? Who'd you get interviewed by?
I got interviewed by Drew Mariani on
Relevant Radio.
Relevant
Yeah.
Radio.
I love Drew's show.
Yeah,
Very
it's good.
cool. Lots of crowd. Actually, kind of intimidating because there was a live crowd sitting in all the
Yeah.
seats.
Right.
And you gotta, when you're over the phone being interviewed, you can just
Yeah.
kind of wing it and look at Twitter while you're talking, and then hear you actually have to pay
Not doing
attention to
Drew's
the
show. We would
questions.
never do that. Never me.
We would
Drew. I
never
would
look
never
at
do that to
Twitter
you,
while
buddy.
we're talking.
No, it was
yeah.
very cool. And, I remembered right before, like, how am I going to talk about politics and
Right, at
the
the Eucharistic
election
Congress.
at the Eucharistic Congress?
It is kind
And
of
then
a
I remember
resting
that
topic,
quote,
right?
one of the best quotes from Peter Kreeft, who said that abortion is the Antichrist demonic mocking of the Eucharist.
Yes.
Right.
Because abortion, they use the very
Same
same language.
incantation.
This is my
My
body. So
body,
it was just
my-
such
yeah.
a perfect thing to think about the way
I
in
love
which.
that line.
So
It's
I mean, not
brilliant,
to
yeah.
like bring it down a little bit, but
No.
it was
Right.
like the Eucharist is the antidote to the problems of politics,
Yes.
especially the problem of abortion.
100%.
But I mean, at the convention there, you had a chance to see some of the peeps there. You said that people, gave shout outs and call outs for Catholic vote.
They did actually. I was telling you guys, I felt really famous. I'm walking around.
It's kind of weird.
I didn't have a name badge, and people would say, wait, that's Catholic vote. I wasn't
Yeah.
Brian Birch. I was
You're
Catholic
Catholic
vote.
vote in
Which
the flesh.
maybe just is because we have no competition. So we're the only ones there representing Catholics, 25% of the electorate. No, but at several times, several people, I won't mention names, but very prominent people said, we love your work. We love what you're doing. As I joked with you,
Yeah.
maybe they just love the Loopcast, but I didn't ask them.
I had
So-
several priests say that, and
That's cool.
I was so honored. Like that to me, it means a lot that priests would be watching us and reading the Loop, and hopefully gaining encouragement from that. And
We had
a
a
sense
lot
community.
of priests and religious at the Congress here,
Yeah.
telling us how much they enjoy the Loop.
We did. Josh and I are playing a little competition today.
Yeah.
Who could get more people to come up to them to say, "Are you Josh Mercer
Yeah,
or are
yeah.
you Brian Birch?" Several times he was in the
We got a
lead.
humble crew
Well,
here.
can I-
Josh was winning.
Can I trash talk a little bit? This was
No.
my favorite moment,
Oh,
guys.
boy.
I'm just going to tell you. So we're standing outside, and Tom's doing his like man on the street. He's like talking to people, and this woman turns around and she goes, that voice. And I thought she was going to go for Pogo, and she comes for me. She's like, I heard you're on Loopcast, and I was like, yeah, I'm Erica, and she's like, oh my god. And then I'm like, and this is Tom, and she's like, oh hey, and then she's like,
Yeah,
back to
the best part was after she recognized you by your voice, she's like, I love you so much. And you're like, hey, by the way, like this
Tom's
is Tom,
right here,
the
too.
other person on the show. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like,
Well, you're wearing shorts like
she's
this.
like, you don't have a mustache. You
it
don't
was
have a
the
mustache.
leg.
That's
She
why
didn't
I didn't
recognize
Yeah. I was
showing a
the
little
leg.
leg.
there.
You got to
Oh,
keep the
God.
mustache, bro.
Actually, I did
Yeah,
run
it was
into
the
Facial hair is
mustache.
good.
So when
She
we were
said
out there
that.
doing the man on the street today, we ran into a New York Times reporter doing the same thing we were. And so I was like, we heard them kind of talking like JD Vance, like Trump and Biden. I was
Probably
like,
the
okay,
same
No
well,
reporter
way.
that
and I was like,
interviewed
Hostile
Brian.
peace incoming. And we went up and talked to her, like, hey, like, she's like, oh, I'm from the New York Times. And
Interesting.
Was it
just doing a
Elizabeth
profile.
Diaz?
No, it was.
Actually,
I'm not going to dox her, but
Actually, just so Tom, he thinks that Catholic Vote doesn't know what's going on. Another Catholic Vote staffer had lunch with that New York Times reporter.
No way.
So just so you know, Tom, we had all the bases covered.
covered.
I don't want to
Yeah,
I'm not saying we're the
right.
CIA,
No
but
one
we
told
have
me.
we have people. We know.
we are the Catholic Church. We have resources.
That's good times. Good times.
Well, okay, so you
Well,
weren't
wait,
there.
wait.
You weren't
Let-
there in Milwaukee for JD Vance's speech. You were
really?
there for a
I was
good
there the
chunk
night
of it.
before. I was there for
Right.
Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis night. But I did get
Okay,
to
now-
experience the vibe, go to a number of suites, events, walked through a number of hotel parties, got
Yeah.
to see ambassadors that know us, several people,
Right.
several donors that know us. Just the place is just filled with people of influence. So
Okay,
I'm a
so
little
here's
out
my
of,
question
out of
for
my
you, though.
league, but
DeSantis, I like him. I've always liked him. You know me. I've been a big fan of him for a long time.
Yeah,
I
we
even
all
got
know.
his
Yeah.
coffee mug. But I remember thinking about this time last year. It just he wasn't going to get it done.
So this is set up because Josh knows. I think I texted him that night. Not DeSantis just doesn't have that magic gravitas, that kind of that
The Riz.
charismatic.
The
You
Riz.
just sense it.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, DeSantis is the man. Let's
He's
just
got
face it.
he's got an
He has
exceptional
delivered
brain.
in unbelievable courage. He's turned Florida into a deep red
paradise.
state. Take it off the map. People love him down there. if I could just pluck someone, put them in the Oval Office, it's Ron DeSantis.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's
That's
politics.
not how it works.
It's not just about knowing the truth. It's
You gotta
about
assemble
being
a
able to
coalition.
lead others to it. And right now, Donald
Right.
Trump is proving he's the guy. He
And
knows how to
worse
do
than
it.
all, Donald Trump's party, he understands a convention like this. You bring in someone like a Hulk Hogan, and some of these people, you kind of go, well,
And
I
a
don't know
Kid
about
Rock.
this. But Kid Rock, yeah, that's smart. That's going to do well in
Yep,
Michigan. I
yep.
can tell you that right now.
Well, it gives people a reason to tune in. I mean,
Yes.
junkies like us watch it for
Yes.
4 hours
No matter
straight.
what.
Right. But if you're like, hey, Kid Rock is going to be on, or you turn it on, you're going to,
I
what's going on there?
guarantee
And you
you-
see Hulk Hogan, you're going to stop.
I grew up, you and I grew up in the 80s. Every guy our age is like, dude, Hulk Hogan, did you hear about that? It's going to make headlines. He gets it. It's
Actually,
smart.
in my house, we weren't really allowed to play with WWF. But
Yeah.
You couldn't, they didn't let you, mom didn't want,
Oh,
let you
there's
watch it.
Kid
no,
Rock.
there was
We're
like, you
watching
know,
him.
Oh, it's Kid
there
Rock.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here he is.
This is the grand finale.
Shout out Kid Rock,
Michigan guys,
Michigan
here we go.
boy, Romeo, Michigan. 20 minutes from where I grew up. Shout out Kid Rock, absolute legend.
They're all there with fight.
Also, I want this opportunity. We got a lot of people in the chat right now. If you have questions for Brian or Josh or Erica or me,
Actually, I have a
I'm
good
ready.
Kid Rock story. So
Okay.
do.
Okay.
we've been doing
yeah.
this for a while.
I want a good Kid Rock story.
2012, I
Oh,
took a
my
leave of
goodness,
absence.
you're gonna admit this?
I leave Catholic Vote temporarily because the Mitt Romney campaign said we really need some Catholic effort. I go to Boston. I was commuting to Boston every week. Then they sent me to Michigan for a special event because they wanted me to raise Catholic money there. Very wealthy home, Bloomfield Hills, overlooking this lake, you know, $10 million home, all these wealthy people. And the special guest is Kid Rock. Now,
Bloomfield Hills.
you know, you got this scene, and you understand, $10 million
Swanky.
home, you know,
Yeah.
the
Very
1%
swanky
of
neighborhood, yeah.
Michigan, Republican country club crowd, Mitt Romney, Bain Capital, financier.
Auto execs.
And
Here
Kid
comes
Rock.
Kid Rock into the party in leather pants. In leather pants.
Bob Seger would have been better, you know?
Of course, me, I'm just looking around. I was the staffer in the background thinking, this is just not going to work. But you know what? It was Michigan.
Yeah.
And even country club Republicans in Michigan like Kid Rock because
he
of
made
his
it work.
politics.
Really?
Pogo.
Wow.
Pogo. Next time, try the leather pants instead of the shorts.
Yeah, no.
Please no.
No leather pants allowed.
Okay. The
Colette
boss
says no. Colette says no, too.
Like, I like taking fashion risks. Maybe it'll happen.
It's good.
I
time.
did see Kid Rock also in Manchester, New Hampshire, the night before the election in 2012.
That's my home turf.
It was
New Hampshire.
rockin' concert. Romney showed up late. Place was going crazy. We're all like, "There's no way we're gonna lose." And
And
then he did.
I remember that because
That was
you know
rough.
we couldn't coordinate, but you would send me messages or whatever. Like I don't know, I feel like there's a path, and I'm like, I don't think so.
This was pre-predicted, or Josh would be a little wealthier.
I mean, I remember that 2012 campaign a lot, and you know, my coworker, she's like, "What do you know? We got to have a message to be ready for this." And I said, "Well, that's a good message, but we should probably save that one for after Romney loses." She goes, "What?
Yeah.
You think he's
called
gonna
it.
lose? Like,
Yeah,
that was
I
a
was-
no-brainer. That was a
Yeah."
As a staffer, I got to go to that victory party. Got to go to the top floor since we helped bring a lot of donors there. It was the most depressing party I've ever been to.
Yeah.
It just got worse
No,
as the night went on.
until you get to the Javits Center in 2016.
Oh yes, well I wasn't there.
My goodness.
Yes, right. The highlight
They
reel that we
go to the
still like to
Javits
watch.
Center because it had a glass ceiling, and she was gonna
Right.
smash the glass ceiling. Hillary Clinton.
Question. So as we mentioned, you were at the JD speech. We still get a ton of questions about JD. You know, Catholic vote instrumental in getting him elected in Ohio. Your thoughts on JD Vance?
Yeah, we
as
backed
vice
him when he
presidential
was at
candidate?
3%.
Oh boy,
in
this
that
is a
seven
question
party
because I know a lot of people out there know about this interview, NBC interview. What happens? He's asked about mifepristone,
Yep.
the abortion drug. He addresses the reporter. He says, and I think smartly, doesn't directly answer. It says, "I support the Supreme Court's decision." Well, the Supreme Court didn't rule on the merits in that case.
Right.
They dismissed it on a standing question.
Yep.
So then he thinks he gets away with it, and he says, well, look, we have to have a conversation about abortion in this country, and we're going to have to figure out how to resolve it. Then she tries to interrupt him, multiple times tries to interrupt him, and then she tries to come back. Gotcha moment here, which if you're being interviewed as a politician, you know, you do not take the bait and you do not try to give some long explanation. And she says, wait, do you support access to the abortion pill? And he says, yes, I do. And then he pivots to talking about Project
Right.
25. Now, everyone has hung on that one line by a left-wing interviewer and a gotcha statement. where he realized there was no way he was going to win. And if he would have qualified in any way, it would immediately have been J.D. Vance
The
wants
issue
to
of it.
ban birth control and ban abortion drugs. And in my opinion, could have taken him out of the VP race. Now, does that mean that you lie or that you misrepresent the problem of abortion drugs? No. However, this is my kind of new way of explaining this. I think it is very premature to assume that J.D. Vance supports abortion drugs. In fact, the Washington Post last night, thanks to industrious
right.
Tom McCluskey, pointed
They went
out,
crazy.
in January of this year, J.D. Vance wrote to Merrick Garland and called on him to restrict access to that same drug. So if we're going to talk about what does J.D. Vance actually believe, I am convinced, in fact, I know, J.D. Vance is 100% pro-life. However, he's running on a ticket with Donald Trump, who is a very transactional candidate, who doesn't think about the pro-life issue in the way that we do. And as we've explained, we're going to use Trump. He's not going to use us. We're going to use him to get as much as we can. And J.D. Vance is his vice president. That means he is bound to support the ticket he's on. That is the abortion policy right now, which is leave the issue to the states, restrict it as much as you can, do some executive orders, maybe some pro-life personnel. And
that's on one side. And the other
that's like
offering is?
The other offering
Go to
is
jail under the FACE Act.
Idaho, Texas, how dare
Wipe
you
them out.
protect children?
Roe v. Wade
Florida,
times
get
on
rid of it all,
steroids.
yeah.
Roe v. Wade on steroids. No state restrictions whatsoever allowed, paid for by taxpayers.
Right.
This isn't a hard question, everyone.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance is a pro-life Catholic.
Wait a minute. Can you actually vote for the Trump-Vance ticket and then actually try to petition them to be better on pro-life? Or is that illegal? I thought we could still do that. Why is it this idea that
Well,
you're
wait,
signing
Gus,
your...
wait.
I'm writing my name in blood and I can
No,
never
no,
try to
no,
be
no.
more pro-life?
Let's
This
not
is
go
crazy.
like full, pragmatism here. At some point, we do have to declare in principle. In fact, I think J.D. Vance still needs to come out and he has to find his moment to do this, to reestablish what he believes,
To
which
clarify.
is
Yeah.
all life is sacred, all life deserves protection in law. And his position on the abortion pill, he can still say, look, the country is divided and we're going to have to look at it again. And we're going to have to look at the science that's showing that it is harmful to women. There was a reckless FDA process that approved it,
Right.
et cetera. And we're going to take a look. That's the classic standard politician dodge. We're
I
going
would
to
be
take a
happy
look.
with that.
I'm open to
That's
take a
good.
look.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I do think you have, with Trump and Vance, the ability to try to say, hey, listen, let's look at these studies. Let's look at how this has affected women. What would you say? It was 1 in 15?
International peer-reviewed
1 in
studies.
25.
1 in 25
yeah.
women end up in the emergency room as a result of this.
The
Mostly
American
because,
people
by the
should
way,
talk about that. They should
it's
learn
being
about what's going
distributed
on there.
over the counter with no prescription. That's the reason why a lot of women are taking this drug and they shouldn't be taking it. They shouldn't be taking it all because it's immoral and unethical.
If it
But
affected
it's a
any other
dangerous
thing
drug.
with regards to their bodies, it would be all over the news. But
Right.
because it's abortion, and
Right. If it caused breast cancer, I mean, if it was like
Yeah, in fact, I
any
learned
of these-
tonight.
if it
We're
was-
the first people to go after the drug.
Yeah.
Right.
Back in the 60s.
Right.
Well,
in
you
the
know,
60s.
the other thing I learned tonight, this drug has been used by men to drop it into women's drinks
Right.
in order to kill the baby.
There was a
Because
case in
they needed to
Texas,
solve
right?
the problem. Once
Right.
again,
Right.
abortion is the best tool of exploiting men, or of men exploiting women.
Exactly.
So-
Right.
That's true.
We need to put more emphasis on that for sure.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about what's happening.
I was gonna say,
What's
your
going on?
predictions on the Trump tonight?
Oh,
I'm like, what he's
Trump.
going to say?
Yeah,
He's going
I want to get the
full-
Oracle.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Are we?
Let's
am I messing
before
up the
that.
schedule?
No, you're not.
you're
Brian,
fine,
I
you're
want your
good.
perspective. I want to look forward now. We've beat the myth on dead horse.
Okay.
I want to hear what excites you most from Catholic vote perspective about a potential Trump fan. Well, not potential, a Trump fan's ticket, potential Trump fan's White House.
Ooh, this is interesting. And I'm going to go back to the political adage: policy is personnel.
Yes.
And you can win the White House and your Donald
It's
Trump
the
and your
people.
Vance. At the end of the day, you're going to staff it across all these agencies. And most importantly, and Trump has already signaled this, and Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 are already signaling this, we are going to replace the deep state. And
Amen.
anyone that's been in politics knows it is the most significant change that Trump could bring about.
Right.
Yes, the Supreme Court was it. He
That
did
was
it.
huge.
He did it. It's done. Granted, we could use a few more to little insulation. But
Yeah,
the
some
most
definite
important
insurance
thing
runs
is
there.
going to be the tens of thousands of constitutionalist solid personnel across every executive agency in the government, including, by the way, some they're going to get in there and start moving the offices. I've talked to a prospective cabinet nominee 2 days ago who said his main goal is to move the cabinet offices outside of Washington, D.C.
Right. Put like Department of Transportation in Michigan.
Nice.
Right.
Put
The
Commerce
Department of
in New
Interior
Jersey.
in Wyoming.
Right.
Exactly.
He actually tried to. So that was one of the things that Trump was able to do with the Bureau of Land Management without needing congressional approval. He moved it to Colorado. And then, of course, what does the Interior Secretary under Biden do within 9 months?
Bring it right back
Brings
to
it
the
right
swamp.
back to
Right.
Washington, D.C.
Right.
So,
Well, and people don't realize there's a whole culture that grows up in Washington, D.C.
of course.
And it's a whole protect yourself, longevity, no one gets
And they don't
fired.
touch grass. They don't actually meet real people.
Well, you know, actually, the truth is no one even goes to work anymore. Those buildings are empty.
It's
They're
empty.
still-
Oh,
They all
after
zoom from
COVID.
home.
COVIDians, the scamdemic scared them away, and they still haven't gone back. So you'll take this opportunity. The buildings have been empty for 4 years. It's time to convert them into condos and move these aagencies out across the states.
I love
Let's
it.
do it. I'm excited.
You can go live in a 2-bedroom flat in the former IRS building.
So Josh loves flattery. I have someone from the chat. All right, I'm going to hit you with this. We got
Oh,
from
boy.
shout out from Troy. First time joining Livecast. Mercer's cunning wit, edgy humor, and voice have an uncanny resemblance to Adam Carolla from Loveline in the late 90s. Big fan of all three hosts, but Josh, kindred soul. Would you agree with that comparison?
Mercer.
Wow.
Oh, I could see Josh's hesitation. He's like, Adam Carolla. Oh, please not. Oh, thankfully that Adam Carolla show.
Well, I mean, I do like Adam Carolla. He's got a. I just think his cartoon thing is his new thing is a little bit off, but
What is it?
The Mr. Beecham thing he's got over at Daily Wire. I don't want to take a total crap on it, but it needs a little. It needs a little something else,
It's a little
but,
rough around the edges. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the comment. Yeah, I mean, and it's fun. We, going to the Eucharistic Congress, we had a lot of people. They saw that, it was my idea, by the way, of course.
Yeah.
Get these Catholic vote T-shirts or polos, and people were just like genuinely like, thank you so much for what you do. And I said yes. And there are other people that probably help out around here too, but I appreciate what you say. So
And we
right.
gave Josh proper credit today. Every time people come up to
Totally.
me, I said, look, everyone, there's a lot of good people around me that make me look good.
and I agreed with him on that.
Yes, he did.
I love it. I love it. That's
I
good.
gotta bust his chops a little bit. No, but it's good.
Can we get Erica's perspective real quick?
On Josh?
As always. No, excites you most. Trump fans ticket to you, Catholic voter.
Oh, Trump. I mean, I was going to go with the people who will now be in that administration versus who's there now. I mean, it's got to be the people. I think too. I love the sort of revolution that's gone on in the Republican Party, which is I have never felt is my party. I'm a registered independent. Sorry, guys. I don't know if that's going to get me
that's
fired.
news. That's
I have
like-
never been a registered
She lives in
Republican
New
before.
Hampshire. Everyone's an
I know.
independent there.
Everyone
She
in New
did.
Hampshire is
She's
like,
in
live free or
Connecticut
die.
now.
I'm independent,
Oh, she's
baby.
used to. Okay, yeah, okay.
So it's all good. So yeah, no, I think Amber Rose might have been a bridge too far for me. But that being said, the lineup of speakers and just seeing that energy, I'm just excited about it. So it's going to be good. But definitely the cabinet. I'm very excited
close-
to learn who the cabinet members will be. I'm hoping for Chris Rufo education. I would love to see Chris Rufo in there for education. Vivek could go about
Press
anywhere.
secretary.
Press secretary.
Who wouldn't tune in
Yeah.
every
Actually,
day?
the best
I
thing-
would watch.
The
I
thing
mean, I
is
do.
with
I watch
Vivek, the best
KJP
thing
every
for
day, but I would
the best
watch
thing
him.
for him would be director of office management and budget, and he could slash it
He would
a
just
ton.
slash it.
But would he do it?
Well, you need someone
Yeah.
who's willing to ruin their entire political career
Yes.
because they will
Yeah.
ruin that person.
Right.
And I think Vivek's real talent is
Communication.
communication. You got to have him in some kind of
And
role
thinking, yeah.
role where he's talking every day.
He would be good.
Yeah.
Press secretary.
And
Give me
even the
that.
press who hated him would also love him because he's great entertainment,
Yeah.
which I hate to say.
Can I give a
It
lowbrow
matters.
answer to my own question?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just excited to feel like we have someone powerful back in office.
Yeah.
It's been hard for me to
Yeah.
watch America be led by clearly a senile old man for so long. Oh, we getting the?
He's on.
Oh, is he on?
He's coming up.
The HDMI
hear
cable's
it.
We got no
off.
monitor, bro. I've been trying to get your attention.
Oh, trust the process.
All right. That's my cue
No, he
to turn
knows, he
into a
knows.
pumpkin
We can't see
and
on
get
here,
Tom
yeah.
McCluskey in here. Enjoy the speech, guys.
You guys need to get an air conditioner in
See
here.
you in the morning. I know.
Well, you think? I
Oh,
mean,
we got fans.
You're in good shape. I'm fat,
wearing shorts.
so
I'm hanging
sweating
out, so
even
I'm
more.
good.
This just
No
fell
wonder
down
why he's
too.
wearing shorts.
Yeah, well.
I played you guys. Gosh.
All right. During this
I'm
speech,
excited.
we're gonna keep it. We're
All
not
right.
gonna talk when he's
No
talking.
talking.
Are you out?
I mean, if it's a sustained
Cheers.
applause, we
Wait,
might.
are we on camera still? Or are we done?
Here,
Yeah,
you
we're
hang
still
on to
on
that.
camera.
I'll move
No, I
over.
don't. I don't need to be on this. I'm gonna go
I'll
watch it
move
out there.
over.
Yeah, I was just a special guest temporarily.
All right,
We'll
bring
hit
in
this
McCluskey then.
McCluskey.
Bring in the boy.
Thank you, Brian.
Ear bandage and all.
So we're gonna not talk when he's talking, peeps.
Did you see that other people are wearing the ear bandage?
I know. It's
so funny.
I saw the meme of him when you order a pillow on Temu.
Your most popular comment was calling out Tom on his shorts.
Gosh
Oh,
dang
the-
it. Half the
door,
chat
though.
is about my shorts. Never again am I wearing shorts, I guess.
They're little.
They're a little what, Tom?
They push the shorts.
Yeah, you know. Come on now.
All right, I think we're gonna get a unity Trump tonight.
Oh, I would love that.
We all
His
should've
latest
wore
ad was so good,
patches.
by the way. The animated one.
We might have to do that in the
That was
aftermath.
so good. Love me a good USA chant.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning.
Kid
Thank you
Rock
very
spoke
much.
at the
What a talent. What a
Tampa
beautiful, beautiful
convention.
song.
We're not on here, right? Yeah,
No, we are. Oh, yeah, we're up.
Okay, so we're
Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
May the third time be a charm.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Is that Youngkin?
Thank you very much. And we will do it right. We're going to do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did, they rushed to the stage.
That photo's amazing.
These are great people at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that.
It's kind of point, honestly. So miraculous. Was that Loomer?
Not a his house, but yeah.
The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
Yeah, I did notice that.
This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely, but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper. And then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. And I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just... They just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces. Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out.
Good.
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
It's good.
It's a great photo collage.
It's good.
Too.
It's good.
Someone said on the live stream, it looks like Josh and Mini Josh on the couch. You guys are wearing the same outfit.
But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God.
Amen, brother.
In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over. But I could see it, and I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight."
That's good.
You know, MSNBC's picking this up tomorrow, right? Like, they're all chanting "fight," domestic extremists.
Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before.
USA.
Never heard anything
USA.
like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey, comparator, unbelievable person, everybody tells me.
Real classy out of Trump here. Super classy.
And seriously wounded. Two other great warriors, spoke to them today. David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
Man, only Trump. That reminds me of like him hugging the flag back in the
Staying
day.
the same.
Yeah,
Right, but even more.
Of course,
I like it more.
Right.
I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it, but we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Dude.
For the family.
Yeah. How do you argue with that?
For the families of David,
Reload.
James,
Yeah.
and Corey, including from a
Cheers.
friend of mine, just hold up, he sent me a check right here, I just got it. $1 million.
Elon Musk, I bet.
Dan Newland, thank you, Dan.
Elon Musk do it. I don't know that way.
And again, when speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, we'll be sending you a lot of money, but it can't compensate. They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing, but nothing can take the place in the case of Corey and the other two. By the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay.
Good.
They're going to be doing very well. Now, Warriors, so now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours, and this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody.
Dude. That is a money line right there.
It's good.
Unity Trump.
It's good.
Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never. And everything I have to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul, I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. We're going to turn our nation around, and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you. This election should be about the issues facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Unity Trump, man.
Well, he's not the first one to say those lines.
He's calmer. He's
We
just
must not
better.
criminalize,
Yes, he is,
dissent,
Tom.
or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy.
That's right.
Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court.
Was she a Trump appointee?
All
Yes,
of
of
that
course.
publicity thrown out of court.
But it was bogus.
Oh, yeah, it was bogus.
If Democrats want to unify our country, they should drop these partisan witch hunts which I've
Good.
been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our
It's
people.
very notable he's not saying one name during the whole
On this
speech.
journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania.
Queen. No Vogue covers for her while she was in office. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, right. Not for Republicans.
And Catholic, too.
But you're right, he hasn't mentioned
And
Biden's
Melania,
name. has he?
thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise. I will tell you, it was beautiful.
I was told by people who used to work for her in the White House that that was 100% her.
Oh, wow,
She wrote
that's
it?
good, yeah.
That
I
she
believe that,
wrote it.
actually.
People said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right? Mr. Congressman? But it captivated so many, so I also want to thank my entire family for being here. Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Baron, we love our Baron.
The chosen one. Lisan al-Ghaib.
And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before.
Barron's so tall, Trump could be on his lap.
Dude, Barron is so tall. Should be in the
How
NBA.
good was Dana? Was Dana good? Was he good? You know, he was on probably the only vacation he's had in about, maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away, beautiful place. And my people called and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, you know, that's too bad, but I understand he's away and it's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called, he's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down, you just can't do it, you have to go. That's a good wife. So he got on a plane, he got here a little while ago, now he's gonna get on the plane in a little while and he's gonna go back home to his wife. But they're great, and I just want to thank her and him and their whole family, because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part, because, you know, Kid does his great song, Big, Big Monster song. I had no idea. You know, he became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money he doesn't know what the hell to do with it.
I like the humor.
We have my other friend, and I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that. I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man. But they all wanted to be here. They called him. And how about the Hulkster? How good was he? Mercy.
Please imitate him, please.
I do not have a Hulk Hogan impersonation.
Is Trump going to rip his shirt off? I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be funny.
Hulk. Legend.
I love you, brother.
You know, they may call it.
That's pretty good,
They
actually.
may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I said, maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I watched him many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right?
That handlebar's so
You were
strong, man.
fantastic. Thank you very
Strong.
much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom.
I believe it.
Oh, they don't like Nancy
Pelosi's the
Pelosi?
only Democrat he's named by name.
Destroying
Yeah.
our country.
Oh, that's right.
We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them in all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
Got a point there.
It's a good line. It's going to make MSNBC really mad.
Oh my gosh, cannot wait for their reaction to this.
And Jason, the biggest star in country music. Jason, thank you for being here.
Wait, Jason Aldean's here?
Yeah.
Jason, thank you very much.
He did the try to
Jason
song.
Aldean.
Oh, nice, nice.
I like his wife even better, by the way. Thank you, Jason.
Very Trump, yeah.
But I'm thrilled to have a new friend and partner fighting by my side. The next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha.
To the first Catholic vice president.
Heck yeah.
Right.
JD.
With the red tie today, you know.
Going to be a great
Presidential.
Vice President. He's going to be great with this country and with this movement, greatest movement in the history of our country. Make America great again. When they criticized it, they said, we're going to try and stop MAGA. I said, MAGA is making America great again. What are you going to stop? There's nothing to stop. Then they say, oh,
good
that's
point.
right. It's very tough to fight it. And all of the people that did try and fight it have failed. But he's going to be with us for a long time, and it was an honor to select him. Great, great student at Yale. His wife was a great student at Yale. They met at Yale. These are two smart people. So, JD, you're going to be doing this for a long time. Enjoy the ride.
Coronation pick, man, I told you.
That's it.
And a very special thank you to the extraordinary people of Milwaukee and the great state of... Oh, there they are.
Do you guys like Milwaukee?
There they
I
are.
do, I know.
That's-
I have
you are
family
so
there, I have to
easy
say it.
spot.
Okay. I'm a big Milwaukee guy. I like Milwaukee a lot.
And Green Bay's going to have a good team this year, right?
No, they
They're
won't.
going to have a good team.
No, they will not.
Okay, that's too
That's
much for this
bridge too
Vikings
far,
fan to
Trump.
say it, yeah.
Relax.
My
Lions
dad's
are,
from-
Most of the
I'm proud
audience
son of
doesn't
lacrosse,
like it,
though.
but it's true. You're going to have a very good team this year.
Lions are running that division.
And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote.
Finally, a politician who admits it.
The cheeseheads.
It's almost refreshing, you know.
Bob Menendez is scratching his head right now.
Why did I think
We'll
of that?
make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make it. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you. Very
Carlos,
much.
Jordan Love
Thank
is
you.
overrated, and you know
I'm
it.
here tonight to
Lions run
land a
that
vision
division.
for the whole nation, to every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican, or independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic. I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. We were right there in the first term. We got hit with COVID. We did a great job. Nobody knew what it was, but nobody's ever seen an economy pre-COVID. And then we handed over a stock market that was substantially higher than just prior to COVID. Coming in, did a great job. Never got credit for that. We got credit for the war and defeating ISIS and so many things, the great economy, the biggest tax cuts ever, the biggest regulation cuts ever, the creation of Space Force, the rebuilding of our military. We did so much.
It's good.
We did so much. Right to try. Right to try is a big deal. We got right to try. They were trying to get that for 52 years. Somebody is terminally ill. And hopefully there's nobody in this audience, but it does happen a lot. They're terminally ill and they can't use our new space age drugs and other things that we are way ahead. We have the greatest doctors in the world, the greatest laboratories in the world, and you can't do it. They've been trying to get that approved for 52 years. Wasn't that easy? The insurance companies didn't want to do it. They didn't want the risk. The labs didn't want to do it because if it didn't work, people are pretty far down the line toward death. They didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to have it on their records, so I got everybody into an office. 52 years they tried. Sounds simple, but it's not. And I got them to agree that...
I worked on this personally for like 10 years
Asia, Europe, or someplace.
because of a
or
friend, and
we got more
I'm
money
just
going
very
on
happy
than
he's seeing this as a
society.
success of his.
We got them to sign
administration.
an agreement, agree to it, where they're not going to sue anybody. They're going to get all of this stuff. They're going to get it really fast. And what's happened is we're saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's incredible. Right to try.
I have to say, I agree with Elizabeth and Chad.
Great
Very
feeling.
confident, calm.
Under our leadership,
Funny.
the United
Funny
States
speech.
will be
Yeah.
respected
Humorous.
again. No nation
Seems
will question
natural.
our power. No enemy
Feels
will
natural.
doubt our might. Our borders will be totally secure. Our economy will soar. We will return law and order to our streets, patriotism to our schools, and importantly, we will restore peace, stability, and harmony all throughout the world. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership. This will be the most important election in the history of our country. Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it. We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena. It's a massive invasion at our southern border that has spread misery, crime, poverty, disease, and destruction to communities all across our land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Then there's an international crisis, the likes of which the world has seldom been part of. Nobody can believe what's happening. War is now raging in Europe and the Middle East. A growing specter of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia, and our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III. And this will be a war like no other war because of weaponry. The weapons are no longer army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. These weapons are obliteration. It's time for a change. This administration can't come close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people. They're fierce people. And we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce.
So are we going to get the name?
I mean,
yet?
he's
Still hasn't said
he's
it.
very sharp right now. I can see why Biden picked him as his vice
So
president.
tonight, I
He
make
still hasn't
this
said Joe
pledge
Biden's
to
name.
The great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis.
And I think by now it's
bring down
deliberate.
interest rates and lower the
Yeah,
cost
of
of
course.
energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
Let's go. We got riches underneath our feet. Let's go.
I do keep seeing Vance and think of Vance refrigeration from The Office, though. You know what I'm talking about? Every time I see it, I can't get it out of my head.
Can you believe what they're doing?
Jim Vance.
Vance refrigeration.
But
Yeah.
by doing that, we will lead a large-scale decline in prices. Prices will start to come down. Energy raised it. They took our energy policies and destroyed them. Then they immediately went back to them, but by that time, so much was lost. But we will do it at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And we'll end lots of different things. We'll start paying off debt and start lowering taxes even further. We gave you the largest tax cut. We'll do it more. You know, people don't realize I brought taxes way down, way down, and yet we took in more revenues the following year than we did when the tax rate was much higher. Most people said, how did you do that? Because it was incentive. Everybody was coming to the country. They were bringing back billions and billions
All the
of
corporations,
dollars into
right.
our country. The companies made it impossible to bring it back. The tax rate was too high. And
To me, it was his cutting of regulations was one of his biggest
People
accomplishments.
don't talk about that enough.
Yeah, I know.
Hundreds
But
of
I-
billions of dollars by Apple and so many other companies were brought back into our nation, and we had an economy the likes of which no nation had ever seen. China, we were beating them at levels that were incredible. And they know it. They know it. We'll do it again, but we'll do it even better. I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall,
Yeah.
most of which I've already built.
Let's go.
On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year.
And then Joe Biden installed
That happened.
turnstiles.
Right.
I will
Hundreds
end
of thousands, that
every single
includes migrants, too.
international crisis that
Not
the
just
current
Americans.
administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused
I believe
by
that.
the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president.
I
Iran
also
was
agree.
broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it. They weren't going to buy any oil. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again. And they took off all the sanctions and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often, If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done.
There it is.
He
First
finally
one.
says the
Bingo.
name.
Once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is
What name?
unthinkable.
Yeah, well played.
Unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, competence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense making most of our decisions.
Senility.
It's all
What an idea.
I just want to hear him say China again.
Just a few short years ago, under my presidency, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had never done anything like it. We were beating every country, including China, by leaps and bounds. Nobody had seen anything like it. We had no inflation, soaring incomes were going. Nobody can believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make it, it doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great wages, the highest they've ever made, but they were putting away a lot of money. Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely living. They're going into savings accounts. They're taking out their money to live because of inflation. Inflation, remember, it's called a country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation, and we've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had. But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person. But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population.
That's true.
Because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering.
MSNBC is going to lose it on this, but
Oh my
it's
gosh,
true.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really?
I like you too.
They latched on the black
Thank
jobs
you very
quote
much.
from the last one.
It's like
Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be a great nation again.
let's do it. I agree with Jan in the chat. I wish we were voting tomorrow.
Thank you. With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do.
Let's
You
do
don't
it.
even hear about the American dream anymore. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of our country. Be excited. Be excited.
Let's go, Donald. I love it.
Bring back common sense. Word.
And by the way, the news reports, look at all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all
Here we go.
But every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single.
Brian Loki.
What?
Brian said similar sentiment for sure.
Well, Van Jones, the communist, said that too.
Yeah.
It's true. And there's love in the room. There's great love in the room.
Got to think, what are the Democrats going to do to match their candidate?
Put
Right.
your,
Can't
So
talk
I
for
better
this.
put your
finish
mic up,
strong.
too.
Otherwise, we'll blow it. And we can't let that happen.
Instead of Kid Rock, they have George Clooney. I mean, it's just
Tell him
not
to step
gonna.
I
down.
mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said, oh, gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. I refuse to be the only one. Don't do that to me. They're already getting ready. See, I gave them an idea. Now, this was a great convention. This was, I think we're actually going to go home and miss it. You know, usually with a first of all, look at these crowds. You'd never have this at a convention. Look at these crowds.
He just enjoys it. He enjoys this.
Love.
He really
It's
does.
about love. This week, the entire Republican Party has formally adopted an agenda for America's renewal, and you saw that agenda, and it's very short compared to the long, boring, meaningless agendas of the past, including the
Oh,
Democrats.
wow, right to the heart of Tinfoil
Hundreds of
Tom.
pages long, and they never
Sorry,
give enough
Tinfoil.
time.
I agree with them.
It needed to be shorter,
Fortunately, they don't read that.
but I still think it could have been better on policy.
It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Tom, you didn't use enough all caps.
We
That was
have
the
our
problem.
great Speaker of the House with us tonight. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Mike?
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike Johnson.
A Republican Senate, we have many senators here. And send me back to our beautiful White House just a few short months from now. We're talking about just months. It can't come fast enough. We have to get it done. First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting on day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. We have to make it affordable. It's not
Let's go.
affordable. People can't live like this.
Cut the
Under
regulations,
this
bro.
administration, our current administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 and 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the fact is, it doesn't matter what they are because you can't get the money anyway. Can't buy houses. Young people can't get any financing to buy a house. The total house
Hammer it home.
costs
I like it.
have increased an average of $28,000 per family under
It's actually
this
insane.
administration. Republicans have a plan to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly. By slashing energy costs, we will in turn reduce the cost of transportation, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much starts with energy. And remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are a nation that has the opportunity to make an absolute fortune with its energy. We have it and China doesn't. Under the Trump administration just 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent. But soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world
And make good money.
with numbers that nobody has ever seen, and we will reduce our debt, $36 trillion. We will start reducing that, and we will also reduce your taxes still further.
Big fight next
Next.
year in Texas. Let's
And by the way,
go.
they want to raise your taxes 4 times. Think of it. And all my life, I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was on the other side. I'd watch and they were always talking about, "We will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut." My whole life, I was watching, "I will give you a tax cut." Right, Mr. Congressman? That's all they talked about. This is the
Who's
only
this Mr.
administration
Congressman he
that
keeps
says
pointing?
we will
Is it-
raise your
is it
taxes
Miho,
4
Mike
times
Johnson,
what you're
or-
paying now.
Could be
And people
Mike.
supposed to vote for them? I'd never heard it. You're paying too much. We're going to reduce your taxes still further. We gave you the biggest one, as I said. We're going to give you more, and it's going to lead to tremendous growth. We want growth in our country. That's what's going to pay off our
He
debt.
still has the hand gesture down.
Right.
Still
And
have
his
him-
point earlier, like the previous
And
time.
next, we will end the
good.
ridiculous and actually incredible waste of taxpayer dollars that is fueling the inflation crisis. They've spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And all of the trillions of dollars that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless green new scam ideas.
Why don't you cut funding for Planned Parenthood and build bridges with that?
Seriously.
It's a couple billion right there.
Yeah.
And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day
All
one.
right.
Need Erica back in here for that one.
Yeah, she hates
Hey,
electric vehicles.
I live in Michigan, brother. Thank
Thereby
you.
saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car.
Trump's going to win Michigan, guys. I'm calling it.
And right now, as we speak, large factories just started are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country. No tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every
All
single auto
right.
worker, union
Call 'em out.
and non-union,
Good.
should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing, and we're going to bring it back fast.
That's right. Ask for their vote. I love it. Come on, boys,
They're building
Michigan.
some of the largest auto plants anywhere in the world. Think of it, in the world. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make them. We don't mind that happening, but those plants are going to be built in the United States, and our people are going to man those plants. And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States.
Let's go.
We have long been taken advantage of by other countries. And think of it, oftentimes these other countries are considered so-called allies. They've taken advantage of us for years. We lose jobs, we lose revenue, and they gain everything and wipe out our businesses, wipe out our people. I stopped it for 4 years, I stopped it, and we're really ready to make changes like nobody had seen before. And remember, USMCA, I got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA, which is, they say, the best trade deal ever made. Actually, probably the best trade deal was the deal I made with China, where they buy $50 billion worth of our product. They were buying nothing. They buy $50 billion worth. They had to. But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
There it is, baby. I got my wish.
Cheers.
China.
We will not let countries come in, take our jobs, and plunder our nation. They come and do that.
And they use lobbyists to do
Our
it.
nation. The way they will sell their product. in
Bad
America
lobbyists.
is to-
There are good lobbyists out there.
Very simple. Build it in America and only in America.
What's better than a good old USA chant? You know what I mean?
It's the best chant tonight. The others
For
kind
sure.
of seemed like
USA chants. There's
struggling.
nothing
I don't know,
better.
And this very simple
First one,
formula,
you were meant to be
Congress has
here.
to go
That
along
was-
with us,
I like
and they
that one.
will. This very simple formula will create massive
Fight, fight,
numbers of
fight.
jobs. We will take over the
that
auto
was good.
industry again, and many, hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them. At the center of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular, in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips.
And if you'd like to tip Catholic Vote tonight, please go to our website.
We won't tax
I had
you.
dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello. I'll see you there very soon, everybody. And we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip, and it's a great building. And the waitress comes over. How's everything going? Really nice person. How's everything? Oh, sir, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find you? She said, actually, and I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money, it's just ridiculous. And they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after them even more.
Yep,
Good point. Good point, Trump.
And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax and tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars.
Such a good
And everybody
pander. It's good.
loves it.
It's smart.
Waitresses and caddies and drivers and everybody's a large group of people that are being really hurt badly. They make money, let them keep their money. I'm going to protect Social Security and Medicare. Democrats are going to destroy Social Security and Medicare because all of these people, by the millions they're coming in, they're going to be on Social Security and Medicare and other things, and you're not able to afford it. They are destroying your Social Security and your Medicare. Under my plan, incomes will skyrocket, inflation will vanish completely, jobs will come roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before, and we're going to do it very rapidly. But no hope or dream we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. There's never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen. The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday. Tom Homan, put him in charge and just sit back and watch. Brandon Judd, the Border Patrol, he's incredible. These guys, they really, their job is a lot easier if they don't have to do anything, but they want to. They're patriots. Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, ICE. ICE goes out. You have to see what ICE does with MS-13. You have these are probably the worst gang, and ICE goes in there. And I know a lot of people on these rows here, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job. They'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst, probably the worst gangs in the world. We have thousands of them. I moved thousands and thousands out in my 4 years. We moved them out, and it was a pleasure. But ICE would go right into a pack of these killers, and you see fists flying, you see everything flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back, and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back, and I called up, and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day, I got calls from all of these countries that were terminated. Billions of dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us, frankly, no good. And the next day I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, you won't take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to, we would give very serious consideration to doing that. And within 24 hours, they were being taken back. For years and years, when I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They'd put planes on the runway so you couldn't leave the plane. They'd close the road so you couldn't take the buses. They'd all have to turn back. As soon as I said no more economic aid of any kind to any country that does that, they called back and they said, sir, it would be our great honor to take MS-13. We love them very much. We love them very much, sir. We'll take them back. At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America. And we're going to do that on day one. That means two things in day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
And Mexico City policy.
If you waited till the anniversary, that'd be okay.
And by the way, and I think everybody as a
Day 3.
Republican, as a patriot in this room, and most Democrats, we want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally.
Amen, brother.
Legally.
Common sense.
Less than 4 years ago, I handed this administration the strongest border in American history. But you can see on the chart that saved my life, that was the chart that saved my life. I said, look it, I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the greatest, it was done by the Border Patrol, one of the greatest charts I've ever seen. It showed everything just like that. You know the chart. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. Wow. Last time I put up that chart, I never really got to look at it. But without that chart, I would not be here today.
It's a good line. So they're going to put that chart in the newspapers. Maybe, just maybe. Or at least people will Google it.
I said, you got to see this chart. I was so proud of it. And by the time I got to there, I never got to see it that day. But I'm seeing it now, and I was very proud. And if you look at the arrow on the bottom, that's the lowest level, the one on the bottom, heavy red arrow. That's the lowest level of illegal immigrants ever to come into our country, recorded history, right there. And that was my last week in office. And then you see what happened after I left. Look at the rest. And if you go out a little bit further, it's getting to be a little bit old, but I love it anyway, right? But you can go much higher with those numbers. Look what happened right after that. The invasion began. We had the opposite. We stopped the invasion. But the invasion that we stopped was peanuts by comparison to what happened after I left. Look at what happened after I left. They took over our country. We ended all catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We stopped human trafficking and forged historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on their soil. Under the Trump administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You went right back. The current administration terminated every single one of those great Trump policies that I put in place to seal the border. I wanted to seal the border. Again, come in, but come in legally. You know how unfair it is? So many people, hundreds of thousands of people, have been working for years to come into our country. And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented. It's so unfair. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. They suspended wall construction, ended remain in Mexico. We had a policy, remain in Mexico. You think that was easy to get from the Mexican government? But they said, you must give it to us. If you don't give it to us, there will be repercussions, and they gave it to us. Not easy. Canceled our Safe Third agreements, demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release. That's catch and release, where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them and release them into Mexico. There's a slight difference.
I think that's better. What do you think?
Took 93, this is the previous administration, 93 executive actions to throw open our border to the world. The entire world is pouring into our country because of this very foolish administration. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East.
And
they're coming
China.
from everywhere. They're coming at levels that we've never seen before. It is an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them. They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums.
And gang members.
You know, the press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs?
Dang,
The
dude.
late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner. That's insane asylums. They're emptying out their insane asylums. And terrorists are coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. Bad things are going to happen. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up, while crime statistics all over the world are going down because they're taking their criminals and they're putting them into our country. A certain country, and I happen to like the president of that country very much, but he's been getting great publicity because he's a wonderful shepherd of the country. He says how well the country's doing because their crime rate is down. And he said he's training all of these rough people. They're rough. He's training them. And I've been reading about this for 2 years. I think, oh, that's wonderful. Let's take a look at it. But then I realized he's not training them. He's sending all of his criminals, his drug dealers, his people that are in jails, he's sending them all to the United States. And he's different in that he doesn't say that. He's trying to convince everybody what a wonderful job he does in running the country. Well, he doesn't do a wonderful job. And by the way, if I ran one of the countries, many countries from all over, I would be worse than any of them. I would have had the place totally emptied out already.
Is he talking about
But we
Venezuela?
become a dumping ground for the rest of the world, which is laughing at us. They think we're stupid. And they can't believe that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, but they're not going to be getting away with it for long. That's what I can tell you. In Venezuela, Caracas, high crime. Caracas, Venezuela. Really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe, we won't be able. We will not be able to have it there. In El Salvador, murders are down by 70%. Why are they down? Now, he would have you convinced that because he's trained murderers to be wonderful people. No. They're down because they're sending their murderers to the United States of America. This is going to be very bad. And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower from many years ago. You know, he was a moderate, but he believed very strongly in borders. He had the largest deportation operation we've ever had. Just recently, I spoke to the grieving mother of Jocelyn Nungary, a wonderful woman. A precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who last month was tied up, assaulted, and strangled to death after walking to the convenience store just a block away from her house. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, found by some onlookers who couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela who came across our border, were in custody, and were then released into the country by this horrible administration that we have right now. I also met recently with the heartbroken mother and sister of Rachel Morin. Rachel was a 37-year-old mom of 5 beautiful children who was brutally raped and murdered while out on a run. She wanted to keep herself in good shape. It was very important to her. She was murdered. The monster responsible first killed another woman in El Salvador before he was led into America by the White House. This White House let them in. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. Traveled all throughout the country, doing tremendous damage. Rachel's mother will never be the same. I spent time with her. She will never be the same. I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Yet another American life was stolen by a criminal alien set free by this administration. And these were incredible people we're talking about. These were incredible people who died. Tonight, America, this is my vow. I will not let these killers and criminals into our country.
Good. It's time for some justice.
I will keep our sons and daughters safe. As we bring security to our streets, we will help bring stability to the world. I was the first president in modern times to start no new wars. You know, we were the toughest, we were the most respected. And you saw this hungry, strong country run by a very powerful, tough leader, tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently, they were asking him in an interview, the whole world is exploding, what's happening, what's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing people. But they said to him, tell us what's going wrong, what's happening, what is it? He said, there's only one way you're going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States because he kept everybody at bay.
Sounds good to me.
He used a word I wouldn't use because I can't use that word. Because you'd say it was braggadocious. The press would say, who's a braggart? I'm not a braggart. He said Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nothing was going to happen. The whole world was at peace. And now the world is blowing up around us. All of these things that you read about were not going to happen.
All that's true, except he does brag.
Under
let's be honest.
President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took nothing.
Boom, boom, boom.
Kind of point there.
I love with some in the crowd, an accessory is a bandage on their right ear.
The Timu pillow.
Something that was said
We
to
should
take 5 years.
brand some with
sir,
Catholic
5
vote and
years,
sell them.
sir. We did it in a matter of a couple of months. We have a great military. Our military is not woke. It's just some of the fools on top that are woke.
That's true.
It's a good description.
I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it? See, in the old days, they said that's a
Him and
wonderful
Dennis
thing. Now
Rodman.
they say, how could you possibly do that? But now I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea's acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with him. He'd like to see me back, too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth.
Not a campaign slogan I'd go with.
Yeah.
Influence
Rocket
inherited
Man.
a world at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're in a planet of war. Look at that attack on Israel. Look at what's happening with Ukraine. The cities are just bombed out. How can people live like that where buildings, massive buildings are falling to the ground? It began to unravel with the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the worst humiliation in the history of our country. We have never had a humiliation like that. 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. 45 others were horrifically wounded. Nobody ever talks about that. No arms, no legs, face explosions, horrifically wounded. And by the way, we have a man in this room who's running for the U.S. Senate from a great state, Nevada,
Sam Brown.
named Sam Brown,
Bad on
who paid
life.
the ultimate price.
Courageous, but bad on.
Thank you, Sam.
But
Thank
bad
you,
what?
Sam.
He's bad on abortion.
Thank you.
I mean, his opponent's very, 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 very bad, but
He paid the biggest price probably ever paid by anybody that is running for office, and I think he's going to do great. He's running against a person that is not good, not respected, a total lightweight. But Sam, I think, paid really. We were talking about it.
Calling someone a
Some of
lightweight
the
is awesome.
senators that are working so hard for Sam, but he paid the biggest price of any senator ever to run for the Senate. I don't think anybody's ever what he did. He was a real hero, a really great person, and he's running. And I hope that everybody gets out and votes for Sam Brown.
You know, this speech is longer than Joe Biden's workday.
My gosh, bro.
Could you imagine him talking for this long?
We also have $85 billion
like it.
worth of
Yeah,
military
Joe Biden
equipment,
talking this long? I mean, it's
along
not
with
going to
many
happen.
American citizens were left behind. Many American citizens, emboldened by that disaster, Russia invaded Ukraine. They saw this group of people that were incompetent. We took the soldiers out first. No, we're going to take the soldiers out second. If they would have followed my plan, we had a great plan. But the plan only kicked in if they did everything perfectly. And they weren't doing things perfectly, so we said it doesn't kick in. 18 months in Afghanistan, we didn't have one, so they were killing them left and right, snipers. And I spoke to the head of the Taliban. You've heard this story. Abdul, still there, still the head of the Taliban. The press got on me, why would you speak to him? I said, because that's where the killing is. I don't have to speak to somebody that has nothing to do with it. And I told him, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. You've got to stop. Because during the Obama administration, many great people and soldiers, a lot of soldiers were being killed from long distance. I said, if you keep doing that, you're going to be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by a country before. And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency. I doubt it.
The other guy.
Gave him everything. I mean, what kind of a deal was that? He walked out, gave him everything. You know that right now Afghanistan is one of the largest sellers of weapons in the world? They're selling the brand new beautiful weapons that we gave them. But think of it. He actually said to me, but why do you show me a picture of my home? I said, you'll have to ask your people or one of your wives. But he could figure it out. And for 18 months,
He just
we
gets
had
the
not
digs in
one
there.
attack on an American soldier by the Taliban. 18 months.
Tailband song, Toby Keith. You heard it, Josh?
Of course.
Okay. Just want to make sure. That's culture.
And then we had that horrible day where soldiers were killed. I was not there because of a ridiculous election. But we had that horrible attack. And they also gave up Bagram, one of the biggest bases anywhere in the world, air bases, anywhere in the world, the longest runways, most powerful, hardened, thickened runways. We gave it up. And I liked it not because of Afghanistan. I liked it because of China. It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China has it now. We were keeping that.
I do like the way he says China.
It's the best. I love it so
And
much.
now China is likewise circling Taiwan, and Russian warships and nuclear submarines are operating 60 miles off the coast in Cuba. Do you know that? No, the press refuses to write about it. If that were me running this country and we had nuclear submarines in Cuba, I will tell you that headlines every day would be, what's wrong with our president? You don't even hear this. You're not hearing about this. Russia has nuclear submarines and warships 60 miles away, Mr. Congressman, from Miami, by the way, happens to be here. Correct?
Come on, show this, Mr.
In
Congressman.
Cuba.
I'm dying to know who it is.
That would not be stood for if it were somebody else. They don't even, they don't want to mention it, but now maybe they will. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, where you will
like
be
it.
paying a very big price.
I like it. Bring it.
With our victory in November, the years of war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone call. If properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland. And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change. We gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now most beautiful. They look like yachts. They said we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have most beautiful ships, right, Governor? Everybody sitting over there.
They're riffing on
It was a big
this.
contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground. But most
You
of
make
them
these
are-
ships out of
and Ronald
cheese 'cause
Reagan
it's
wanted this many
Wisconsin.
years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago. Remember, they called it Starship, spaceship, anything to mock him.
Star Wars.
But he was a very good president, very, very good. But now we have unbelievable technology.
Pogo, you can
And why
Google
should
who Ronald
other
Reagan was
countries-
later.
Listen, we don't. No, we're going to build an Iron Dome over our country.
I just saw the Trump Mania shirt that you sent to the chat. It's awesome.
Come and harm our people. And again, from an economic development standpoint, we're going to make it all right here. No more sending it out to other countries in order to help. It's America first. America first. We will unleash the power of American innovation. And as we do, we will soon be on the verge of finding the cures to cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and many other diseases. We're going to get to the bottom of it. You remember this gentleman that I don't want to mention other than one time I had to because when you say the 10 worst, I had to do it. I didn't want anybody to be confused. But this man said, we're going to find a cure to cancer. Nothing happened. We're going to get to the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's and so many other things. We're so close to doing something great. But we need a leader that will let it be done. We will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end the meeting.
Thank you.
Put the camera on Riley.
And we will restore and renovate our nation's once great cities, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And that includes our nation's capital, which is a horrible killing field. So many things. They leave from Wisconsin, they go to look at the Washington Monument, they end up getting stabbed, killed, or shot. We will
Shout out to my
very
hometown.
soon very proud of our capital, again, Washington, D.C.
Very, just says it, you know? Just,
Killing field.
America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the courage to seize it. We're going to take it. We're going to make it a current. I mean, we're going to bring this into a golden age like never seen before. Remember this, China wants to do it. Japan wants to do it. All of these countries want to do it. We have to produce massive amounts of energy if we're going to produce the new. If you look at some of the things that have been done and some of the things that we're going to do, but AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available.
I need a
now
bathroom
in our
break too. I'm
country.
like, we got the AI. Like, you
But
take it, I'll
instead
go
we're
then next.
spending Places where they recharge electric cars. They built 8 chargers at a certain location toward the Midwest. 8 chargers for $9 billion. Think of them as a tank for filling up your gas. Think of it. They spent $9 billion on 8 charges.
For those who might
3
be
of which
confused,
didn't
that was
work.
Josh who got up and left, not Tom.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah,
I know-
yeah,
We're going
yeah,
to
yeah.
do this
I know there's
all
twinning,
over our
cloning
country, this
type of thing
crazy
going on.
electric
No, it'd be
mandate.
you. Yeah, you
We're
guys
gonna
are the
do this all-
twins.
And by the way, I'm all for electric.
It's just the Toms
They
now.
have their application. But if somebody wants to buy a gas-powered car, gasoline-powered car, or a hybrid, they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to make that change on day one.
Dude, not to give myself too much credit. I got up at 5:30 for the Eucharist at Congress. Credit to me.
Not that you like to brag.
Not yeah, I don't
that you're
brag.
braggadocious.
I don't brag at all, but-
With you,
Also, 2 days ago, Elon Musk said, "Get rid of the electric
Here we are
car."
tonight, all gathered
He
together,
did?
talking
Yeah.
about the future promise and a total renewal of a thing we love very much. It's called America. We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin Graham for being here tonight. He's an outstanding man. He wrote me a note recently. I have a lot of respect for him. Sir, I love your storytelling. I think it's great in front of these big rallies. But sir, please do me one favor. It won't make any difference. Please don't use any foul language. I was a little embarrassed. I said, he said, it won't make any difference. Actually, it does. The story's not quite as good, but I've been very good. The story's not quite as good, to be honest. I've got to have a little talk with Franklin. But he was great. He's a great gentleman. His father was so incredible. Billy Graham. My father used to love taking me to see Billy Graham. My father would take me
That
to
explains
see
a
Billy
lot.
Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham. But I love Franklin Graham. I think Franklin's been fantastic. And I'm just working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm working hard on it, Franklin. But if the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God.
Yep.
We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It has always been about the hardworking, patriotic citizens of America. For too long, our nation has settled for too little. We settled for too little. We've given everything to other nations, to other people. You've been told to lower your expectations and to accept less for your families. I am here tonight with the opposite message. Your expectations are not big enough. Not big enough.
I love that line.
That's good. That's good.
It is time to start expecting and demanding the best leadership in the world, leadership that is bold, dynamic, relentless, and fearless. We can do that. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. But as long as our energies are spent fighting each other, our destiny will remain out of reach, and that's not acceptable. We must instead take that energy and use it to realize our country's true potential and write our own thrilling chapter of the American story. We can do it together. We will unite. We are going to come together, and
This is good.
success
This is good.
will bring
This is
us
good.
together. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and so many other things. And remember the word devotion. It's unmatched devotion. Our American ancestors crossed the Delaware, survived the icy winter at Valley Forge, and defeated a mighty empire to establish our cherished republic. They fought so hard, they lost so many. They pushed thousands and thousands of miles across a dangerous frontier, taming the wilderness to build a life and a magnificent home for their family. They packed their families into covered wagons, trekked across hazardous trails, scaled towering mountains and braved rivers and rapids to stake their claim on the wide open, new, and very beautiful frontier. When our way of life was threatened, American patriots marched onto the battlefield, raced into enemy strongholds, and stared down death and stared down those enemies to keep alive the flame of freedom. At Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Midway, they joined the roll call of immortal heroes. So many just so many heroes, so many great, great people. And we have to cherish those people. We can't forget those people. We have to cherish those people. And building monuments to those great people is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Amen, brother.
They
Yeah,
saved
definitely.
our country. No challenge was too much. No hardship was too great. No enemy was too fierce. Together these patriots soldiered on and endured, and they prevailed because they had faith in each other, faith in their country, and above all, they had faith in their God. Just like our ancestors, we must now come together, rise above past differences. Any disagreements have to be put aside and go forward, united as one people, one nation, pledging allegiance to one great, beautiful, I think it's so beautiful, American flag.
Maybe give it a hug.
Not the rainbow flag.
Tonight
Thank
I
you.
ask
Yeah.
for your partnership, for your support, and I am humbly asking for your vote. I want your vote. Gonna make our country great again. Every day I will strive to honor the trust you have placed in me, and I will never, ever let you down. I promise that. I will never let you down. To all of the forgotten men and women who have been neglected, abandoned, and left behind, you will be forgotten no longer. We will press forward, and together we will win, win, win. Win, 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 win. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. No matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles lie in our path, we will keep striving toward our shared and glorious destiny, and we will not fail. We will not fail. Together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before.
They haven't shown the family in a while, and that probably means they're backstage getting
Yeah, I
ready
think
for
so.
the balloon drop.
Right.
And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
That makes me think of the iconic like Hillary Clinton meme of the balloons dropping at the DNC and her going,
Donald J. Trump delivering his acceptance speech for the
All right, we
nomination
can
of
cut
the
out
party.
cut it.
PBS.
The presidential nominee began.
But
You know-
they normally have like the balloon drop.
Well,
the family
keep
comes
it
out.
playing. Just
Oh, just cut
mute
the
it.
volume,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
mind.
Reflecting
We can show the people. I just
Let's-
yeah,
We
no.
want to see the balloons.
Yeah, I definitely want to see
you gotta see
Melania.
the
Come
balloon.
on.
Gotta see the
Gotta see the
balloon.
balloons.
Sure, yeah. No, but I mean, okay. So I love the beginning. Obviously, the story. Walking us through how it felt like to be under attack, be nearly assassinated. Very powerful moment.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming, and yet you're still enraptured by that story. And at the end, I liked the cadence. I mean, it was written for him and he said it, but it was good. The middle part, there was some fun stuff. He was riffing. It was just a little too long.
But if you've ever been to a Trump rally, that is how long it is.
Trump
and that's
rallies
exactly
are
what it's
different
like.
than when you're going with
I understand
convention
that.
speech, though. That's
But
all
for
I would
people
say.
surprised,
Tighten
like he
that
does
up a
this,
little bit.
and could he possibly have wanted to do that just to prove that he can speak for 90 minutes coherently and stand at the same time while his opponent cannot do that?
Well, he could have spoke for 10 minutes coherently, and he would have. I'll say the name Joe Biden. He would have beat Joe Biden's record.
Yeah.
So,
Tom, thoughts on the
balloons?
There we go.
balloons?
Here are the balloons. Red, white, and blue.
Nice. Everyone loves a good balloon drop. Tom, thoughts on the speech in general?
It was very subdued. Donald Trump, even more so because I've seen him speaking like at the Value Voter Summit for Family Research Council and stuff like that, where I agree with Josh. It could have been about 20 minutes shorter.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
But it was very obvious he was trying to address the whole nation. I understand the concept. He didn't want to say Joe Biden's name a lot, but he does have I was going to say he does have an opponent in this race, but with recent news and all, maybe it was deliberate in that maybe Joe Biden won't be his opponent, and that's why he wanted to make sure it was more broader Democrat. So,
Do you have any? Does that have any weight to you? Do you think that's legitimate reporting?
for the first time ever, I'm starting because you're starting to see news stories and senators come out, because before it was congressmen. There were a whole bunch of congressmen. So you're starting to see senators come out. Except I don't know what to believe, because they're worried about down ticket races if Joe Biden's. But Kamala Harris, you look at Kamala Harris, what down ticket race is she going to help? I can't imagine one. So it'll just be, and I think I've said this before in the Loopcast, is I'm just happy that the chaos is on the other side of the aisle right now.
Right.
Well, I mean, I point to, I think so much of this, I mean, obviously Biden has COVID, but it just feels like to me, so many people, claiming they got exclusive news from the Biden campaign. They're leaking all this stuff. And, Biden's going to quit. Biden's going to quit. That wasn't actually coming from the Biden campaign. They're just saying that in hopes that he would kind of roll over. And, he had 3 weeks after this horrible debate performance, and Biden did not bow out. Queen Jill did not want him to bow out. And now that he's got COVID for a few days, I mean, unless he dies, he's going to be fine in a few days, and he's going to keep running. I
did hear Barack Obama invited him paddleboarding, so I'm a little worried about that. Except one thing with the Biden family, and because it fits the stereotype, and I don't like the stereotype because there are a lot of good people on both sides of the aisle in politics, except. If Joe Biden steps down, it'll only be because his family needs a payout for that. They need to make sure that their future
Compensated
is very well compensated. It'll be 100% for the big guy.
But again, I think Joe Biden's going to think to himself, like, look, I could have run for president.
Whoa! You're attributing thinking to Joe Biden for one. So I don't want to cause controversy here. But.
But I said this before, like, he's going to think in 2016, I should have run for president, but everyone's telling me I got to let Hillary run, and then she loses. And he's thinking, I could have won. I think he would have won in 2016.
That was the tweet that we kept pulling up, the AP tweet, Biden will not run. It was from 2015.
Yeah.
Got a few people.
And then in 2020, people are like, well, I don't know if you should run. He's like, well, I'm going to run anyway. And he got like 7th place in Hampshire, and then he kept climbing and working. He gets elected. So he, when he listened to everybody, his party lost. When he ignored everybody, he won. So I think he's going to ignore everybody.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that so far.
I think he's going to drag his heels.
Having witnessed and gone to a couple of conventions,
We're talking about Biden right now, which
yeah.
One, the colors of the balloons, I'm not quite understanding the gold.
I think some of that's because the yellow for cheese for Wisconsin. Yeah.
I'm not seeing. Normally, what you see is the vice president and presidential candidate together a lot.
They'll do that.
Oh, interesting.
They'll come out.
but I'm not seeing it a lot.
It's just with him, with the attempted assassination, he's bringing out his wife first and the family. They're going to dwell on that for a little bit first, and then JD is going to come
It's
out.
not a criticism. It's just an
No, I'm just
observation.
saying it's
Because
I think that's why is my point.
Jay Diz. He'll be up there. Well, hey, I think successful night. Some great commentary. Thanks for being along the ride with us. If you want to stick around with us for future episodes, subscribe here on the YouTube, leave a like in the episode, share us around. Thanks for all the people that got to meet us at the Eucharistic Congress today. We appreciate all your support. Leave us reviews to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can email me, lubecast@catholicvote.org. And Tom wasn't kidding about donations. If you want to support the program, catholicvote.org/champions, where you can do that.
and in the future, Josh and I will wear name tags if we ever end up dressing alike. So
Yeah, if you ever
And
need
I'll
your
never
carpet
wear-
cleaned, we'll come.
yes.
Yeah, and I'll never wear shorts again on a live broadcast.
Yes, please, for the sake of all that's
it's-
holy.
Yes.
And thank you to the camera people for being sympathetic to the angles and all. I think Franklin Graham would appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
We will not have an episode Friday. We're going to just rebroadcast.
Yeah, so this is going to go out. We're going to chop up probably the beginning and end in audio form for those listening behind. Thank you for listening to that as well. But yeah, we got some meetings going on tomorrow. We're going to future goals, all that good stuff. We've got a lot of planning going on. Should be a good day. But as always, St. Thomas More, St. Fidelis, Our Lady of Guadalupe, pray for us. And we will see you guys on the next episode on Monday. Peace.
Thank you.